The internet doesn't always comply with you. All right, there we go. Sounds great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Actually, got a chance to get you guys in here, man. Yeah, so, you know, we're going to get ready. We're going to talk about Palestine, Israel. You know, before I do, I'll make a little note here. What's going on, people? How you guys doing? You know, I'm not too shabby for a construction worker, right? So the problem with people is they believe just because of what you do, it's going to dictate everything that you think and how you should, speak about things and approach things. It would be like telling somebody who's a paletero, hey, you can't speak about politics. Hey, you can't speak about this. You're just a paletero. And that's the problem with a lot of us nowadays, because you see the next man doing something, and instead of being like, all right, homie's doing his thing, you want to sit there and hate and be like, oh, man, that guy shouldn't be doing this. Oh, that guy shouldn't be doing that. Homie, I started this gangster shit, homie. What you think? What you think you rapping about, homie? You started about gangster shit. That's what I've been living, homie. I don't just rap about it. I lived about it. So out with that, not too shabby. We're going to show you we're not one-trick ponies, carnal. So let's run it, man. Right now you're seeing a lot of, well, not a lot. You're seeing the war unfold right in front of us of Israel and, let me put this down real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. Of Israel and Palestine. I had a gentleman yesterday hit me up on IG, and he hit me. He told me, "Hey, Gil, man, when are you gonna talk about what's going on in Israel?" He's like, "I get my news from you because a lot of times the news is already so advanced for people that you can't really keep up with what's going on." Or, you know, this stuff has been going on for so many years that it's hard to actually, you know, keep up with it. My wife and I were having the conversation about it, and I told her, as a matter of fact, she's asking me the questions. Believe it or not, she asked me the questions just like you guys would. And I try to break it down to her as best as I possibly can. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So the Israel and Palestine conflict is something that's been going on, has been brewing since the early 1900s. And it's all because of Zionism. You guys can Google this stuff, and let me read it off to you. In 1899 to 1948, the primary goal of the Zionist movement was to establish the basis for a Jewish homeland in Palestine. Zionist movement would be like how I say the Calimac movement, right? To get all together to make bigger and better things for our people. The Zionist movement was a movement that started in the late 1800s, and was a movement that certain Jewish people wanted to make a Jewish state, because there was no Jewish state, which means, in other words, a Jewish country, Holmes, to make it easier for you guys, right? So after World War II, Palestine at that point was their hood, which their land was controlled by the Ottoman Empire, right? This is right after World War I, people. I'm sorry, World War I. After World War I, the British took over. So these are lands that are colonized, right? That's exactly what it is. They can call it whatever else they want. That's not what I'm arguing right now. I'm just trying to break down what it is, and then you guys can make your own decision. I'm trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can, but I'm also, I'm going to tell you how it is. Great Britain took over Palestine in the 1920s. They took it over after World War I. After World War I, countries are chopped up. What are we going to do? We're going to do this. We're going to do that. The United Nations hasn't been even invented yet. They had it. Great Britain had it, just like how they had Africa, certain parts of South Africa, and other parts of the world. Right? They're an empire still at this point. Well, while the Zionist movement is growing, what they're doing now is they're pushing or not even at the time, Jewish people to move to Israel. In other words, they're saying, hey, man, we're going to take this land and we're going to make it the state. After World War I, over 100,000 Jewish people started moving into Israel, right? And of course, there's going to be conflict. Some people will say that it's not thinking correctly, saying it's a war of religion. But when you break it down to it, that's exactly what it is. At this point, the Jewish people are moving into Israel. They're getting deeper. Obviously, the Palestinians are liking this because they're seeing what's going on. They're seeing like, hey, man, we're getting pushed out of our own land. And then after World War II finally kicked in, after it's done, then the United Nations was formed. The United Nations came in there and said, all right, we need to break down, what countries are what borders, and they're breaking down all kind of other countries and stuff, right? And trying to figure out what they're going to do with the world, because the world at this point, you got Germany that's a mess, you got Japan that's a mess, you got Europe that's a mess, it was just a war-stricken world at this point. Well, when it came to Palestine, the UN at this point took over Palestine because Great Britain said, you know what, I'm done, homie. We're done with trying to have this territory called Palestine, because all it's doing is bringing us nothing but problems. There's nothing there. There's no oil. There's no gold. There's no real, I'm sure there's some kind of resource, but there's nothing really there to get rich off. What it is, it's the Holy Land, homie. That's what it comes down to. The UN ended up making a contract out for both the Israeli and the Palestinian people. And this is where it starts really breaking apart. The UN, even though the Israelis were less of the population than the Palestinian, was going to give the Israeli people, I want to say 56% of Palestine. Well, this upset not just the Palestinian, but pretty much all the Arab nations around there. You got Syria, you got Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan. I'm sure some other ones out there in this area. So they started rising up and said, "Nah, hell no, we're not giving you guys this much percentage." And this is where everybody has their own opinion. In their opinion, the Palestinian people were like, "Man, you guys just moved all these Jewish people in here to take over our country. You guys haven't been here for years." But the way the Zionists are looking at it, Israelis are the natural people of Israel, right? They should have their own land. And the way the Christians, especially of America, look at it is that in order for Jesus to come back, the Israeli people need to be on their land. Again, it's about religion. Whether they want to admit or not, it's about religion. They ended up going into a war. Before, as the British were leaving, the Israeli armies, them got into a war. Well, they started pushing off the Palestinians, and then they started making their own borders, which made it even worse now. So now let me break down a map for you guys of what Palestine looked like starting from 1946. All right, let me open this thing up real quick. All right, now, give me 1 second. The bluish color is Jewish land from 1946. Now, there is a debate going back and forth how accurate this map is, because the green part shows it's Palestinian land, but in reality, some of the land was probably desert, probably not being used. But what you can't see, and they can't debate, is the blue land was the Israeli controlled areas back from 46. They had the war in 47. So Israel started taking all this blue area, right? 67, I believe that was another war. All these are pretty much wars. And as you can see, it's all becoming more and more of Israel's land. Now by 2005, that's where you see that this land is now pretty much controlled by Israel. It's a huge chunk of land. And now it seems to me, going back in history, that Palestine probably made a huge mistake by not taking the 44% of the land that the UN was offering them. And that's exactly what maybe in hindsight they should have taken. But then there's some people say, no, we're not taking anything. You're not taking any of our land. But now what has happened is the Palestinians don't have a country, don't have a state, don't have much say-so in their day-to-day lives. They have walls around them. The Israeli government controls how much food goes in there. Right now, as we speak, in the Gaza area, which is this bottom left little green area right there, they turn the power off, they turn the water off. So in other words, they can pretty much do as they can with the Palestinians. And some people will say, even Immortal Technique, he's out there protesting and doing his thing. They're on the Palestinian side, they're saying this is an apartheid state, just how Africa was when Mandela was in prison and Great Britain was taking over, and they were second-class citizens. And depending on what side of the line that you're on, some people will say, yeah, the Palestinians are being brutalized and being second-class citizens. On the other side of the line, which it's America and the Israels, they'll say that the Palestinians are nothing but or more Hamas, they'll say, are nothing but a bunch of terrorists, and that they just slaughter women and children. And the sad reality is, they're both somewhat right. And this is something that has come into play after 75 years, and finally it's gotten over the boiling point. And could we find ourselves in a World War III? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, I can guarantee you that all the generals, that all our services are on point. They're ready to go, because what everybody's waiting for is this. They're waiting to see if Lebanon's going to jump, if Syria is going to jump, if Jordan's going to jump, if Iran's going to jump. They're waiting for and these are all pretty much, let's say, different hoods, man. Different hoods that are going to jump for these vatos, because they got each other back. And the reason they got each other's back is because of religion, is because of Islam against Judaism. That's all it comes down to. They can try to spin it any way they want, but that's what it comes down to. Israel has been a place where, the Crusades were going on. People have been fighting there for thousands of years just to have, the right to say they control the Holy Land, man. And it's unfortunate because you have, thousands upon thousands of people that are being affected by this. Let me see where you guys are at. Yeah, and some people will say, like Spartan Fool says, they're standing up to the bully, right? So if you're looking for a reason, Abraham, yeah, well, like I said, so it comes back to the history of Israel, man. And at this point, I can't ever see there ever be any peace in Israel. I mean, I don't think there ever really has, because religion is one thing that people, for the rest of to the end of our time, will be fighting over, because everybody believes that their God is the best, that their religion is the best, that anything second to yours is no good, and that's what it comes down to. And us, like I said, we in America, we support the heck out of Israel because of that, because we as Christian nation believe that, I'm not saying I do, that believe that if the Israelis are not in their homeland, the Messiah will never come back, right? That's what it comes down to. Some people would say this is craziness, but this is what makes the world go round, man. It is religion, and to me, it's kind of nuts, but that's what it is. But to the Palestinian people, it's their land. It would almost be like, imagine a place like South Central, right? Shout out to the brothers. This ain't no shout. This is just saying, like, imagine, right? Imagine South Central. All of a sudden, somebody comes in there and says, "Hey, we have a African American movement. We're gonna start moving back in there." And you start moving, thousands, and then here comes the governor of California and says, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna carve off 56%, even though now South Central is mostly Latino. We're gonna carve off 56%, and we're gonna put all the brothers in there, and everybody else that's in there, you're gonna get moved out." That's pretty much what happened, man. That's pretty much what happened. There's people, there's always little different arguments of, whose fault it is, what could have happened. But, my personal opinion, I think that that it's just such a sensitive subject that it's kind of tough to go in there and tell one country, "Hey, you're just going to go out here and post up and we're going to let you guys do this because they are the chosen people." When you're looking at it as a colored person, you're like, man, this is, this is pretty much what happened to the Americas back in the, 1500s, 1400s. But this is something that's like one of the last places that was colonized, and that's what it was. I'm not saying the Israelis were, but the Great Britain colonized. That's exactly what it was, and that's why we're in this position. And could we go to war? Of course we can. This could definitely be the catalyst for World War III. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Another reason that the U.S. really supports Israel, because the location that it has next to all these countries that we somewhat have beef with, especially like Iran. I'm sure Israel has a nuke there. I would not doubt for one second that America never strategically put a nuke there in Israel. But that's the scary part because Iran has some major power. Turkey has some major power. So now we sit back and we see what's going on. But on the Israeli side, it's kind of tough when you're such a power with your army and you're just leveling these buildings. Is there people that need to be held accountable? Absolutely, 100%. But they're definitely killing children on both sides. So to me, it's hard to sit there and blame one side and say, "Oh man, you guys are killing women and children." You guys are both killing women and children. There is no good guy like this in war. Everybody is gonna hurt, and unfortunately, the ones that are gonna hurt the most are those that are civilians, that don't have money to move, that are stuck where they're at. And this is just getting started. And it seems like Gaza is gonna be it's gonna be leveled, man. That place is gonna look like something out of Europe in World War II after all the bombing, man. All right, so let's see what you guys got. I have to go through that. It's gonna be U.S. land. I don't think so, man. All right, so let me see if I can open up the phone lines real quick. If you guys want to call in, I got about what do we got? All right, we got about 30 minutes or so. Yeah. Holy war is unfolding, homie. Absolutely. That's exactly. I mean, that's exactly the way I'm looking at it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, where is the phone number? What is this, Chris? I don't see that. There we go. That's the phone number right there. All right. So you guys want to call in, tap in with your boy, 747-279-8109. Let me get the comments back up right here real quick. And there we go. Actually, no, let me pop these out real quick. Pop out chat. Put that one down here. Put this one right there. And where is the chat? Where did you go? All right, let me put this chat right there so I can see it. Oh, there we go. Professor Gill. Well, I'm just trying to give you guys a quick breakdown because, like I said, you watch the news, you see what's going on, and pretty much people are going to tell you what they feel without actually telling you, all the way through. I don't know. Caller, who's this? I think it was Big Raj. Here we go again. Hey, Raj, is that you? Hold on, brother. Let me put the Bluetooth on real quick. Give me 1 second, my man. Actually, call me back in 2 seconds. Hold on. This is what happens when you're a solo cholo on the team right now. All right, where are you at? Bluetooth. All right, give me a second. Let me connect the Bluetooth real quick. Yo. Hold on, Raj. I'm trying to get the Bluetooth connected, brother. There we go. Almost back, Raj. We're almost back. All right, Raj, what you got?
Where you got? Hey, what's up, homie? Hey, man, great topic, brother. Love
Thank
the
you.
show. Hey, beautiful office, bro. That fucking chair you got is like Donald Trump. Very nice, bro. Italian leather, right? You got a $1,000 Italian leather.
You know this,
chair.
homie. You know this.
Hey, bro. Hey, I can see the prosperity from all the money, the bribe, all the Ukraine money. Being you said to you guys, the politicians.
Not too bad for a construction worker.
Great topic.
Yeah, shoot it.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Yeah, just like Joe Biden was a blue man. You see, that's what I'm telling you. See, all the politicians, we all blue collar workers.
Yeah, huh?
Hey, check this out. So, the thing is, and a great way of illustrating what's going on over there. I'm not exactly an expert. I mean, I get the gist, kind of like you.
Right.
But the thing about this situation is that I think what really messes with America is a lot of it is Christianity, and that's the big thing that really. I remember somebody telling me one time that Christianity was invented so that the Jews would be able to have an army to protect themselves. And I'm Catholic. Well, I'm not a Catholic. I'm not really anything. I'm more of an agnostic, maybe more on the atheist side. But I'm a lapsed Catholic, what they call. We were born Catholic. Or I'm Hispanic and everything.
Hold on, Roger.
Us, we were
West Coast Graffiti, I got to turn your audio on. I got to keep running back over here. Give me 1 second.
All right. West Coast coming on.
No. He just said turn the volume up for you. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, what I was trying to tell you was like, okay. So the thing about it is, and the thing that has this country by the balls with the whole Israel thing is the religion, Christianity.
Yes.
A lot of people said that Christianity was invented by the Israelis, by the Jewish people, so that we would protect them. And I'm I'm not anything really. I'm more of a agnostic, maybe on the Catholic side. Lapsed Catholic, and I really don't believe in any of that stuff anyway.
Right.
Believe you, but I was kind of raised that way. I have the crucifix and that kind of stuff. So I'm a lapsed
I get it.
Catholic. But in the same thing, even as Catholics, we were kind of raised that the Jews did betray Jesus. Now the thing about the Christians, the evangelicals, and this is where the Catholics and everybody's kind of separated, was that the Christians, they believe that we are the Gentiles, we are second-class citizens, and that God's chosen people, right,
Yep.
are the Israelis, and they have to protect them no matter what.
Right.
And I have people that are close to me right now that that I love dearly, and they really believe this. They believe that we need to stand by Israel no matter what, even if they're committing atrocities.
Right.
God is going to judge them in the end, but we have to support them. And it's just a religion, bro. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? So you're absolutely right. This is all religion. And to me, it's kind of like nonsense. Like, why would I have to support, you know what I mean? That's like having your father molesting you, but you have to support what he's doing because you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because they believe that if the Israeli people are not there, that the Messiah will not come down. So it's religion.
It is, and not only that, but they believe that we have an obligation to protect God's children. If we don't, God will shun us. So it's very brilliant what they did. Whenever this thing broke off with the Protestants and the Orthodox, that's why, dude, it's a sickening situation. However, this time, bro, yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know. To me, it just seems like a false flag operation at the time where everything started. I mean, you have the Mossad, one of the most brilliant, along with the CIA, which they're butt buddies. I mean,
right.
They're one of the most brilliant intelligence, have an intelligence lapse right when Netanyahu, Israel, like 3 months ago, they were supposed to be like in a civil war.
Right, I saw that.
They're not getting along.
Yeah, you're right. You're
they're
absolutely
not getting
right.
Along.
You're absolutely right.
Now that support is, now that the Republic, so now that people are, the American citizens and even liberals now are turning off the love affair that they had with the Ukraine, and they're seeing that the Ukraine is not going to win. So now they need to start another war, bro.
Yeah,
and the way they're going to get.
But this could definitely lead on to a much larger war. This is a perfect way for World War III to kick in.
I know, but listen, bro. These military-industrial complex, bro, they don't care. They've been they took their chances of poking the Russian bear.
Yes,
and they didn't care about it.
Yeah, but they make money on both ends. They make money on the military side, and then they start making money on the reconstruction side of it. So it's to them, it's a win-win either way.
BlackRock.
Yeah,
it's a win-win situation, and then they weaken their enemies.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Because listen, here's the thing. I think Hezbollah, they're another faction. They're on the north. They're on Lebanon, which is heavily funded by Iran. If Iran gets involved, they're actually going to be. You got to remember, this is coming with Russia too, because Russia is a big ally of Iran.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's where the World War could kick in.
Yeah, and then Syria, the only Russian base that Russia has outside of its borders, Crimea now, but it's in Syria. So that's where everything can come together. And but one thing that surprises me, bro, a lot of these protests. What do you think about that? What's your opinion? Why do you think there's a lot of Israel protests, even in our inner cities?
Well, I don't think it's so. Well, it depends how you look at it, right? To me, when I look at that, I see the pain of the Palestinian people who have family members over there, and it's almost like Cuba to them, where they're stuck behind a wall, that are having the Jewish government telling them when they can get water, how much food they can get. They have to show their passport to get through. So it's almost like they're doing exactly what the German was doing to them, to a point, right? And
no, absolutely.
And so when I see
exactly.
that, I see the people, protesting, which they have their right in America to protest. I don't see them as evil terrorists, just like I don't also see the people from the Israel side who are protesting. They're protesting because, that's to them, that's their land. For most of the people who are alive now, when they were born, Israel was already theirs, but they don't see the history behind that. Israel at one point was very few real Jews in there, and it was mostly Palestinians. And, by Great Britain taking over them and the UN breaking them apart, they pretty much, chopped up Israel and said, this is yours, this is yours. And the Palestinian people it's almost like the Palestinian people are the Native Americans, and they've never gave up the fight.
No, absolutely. But the only difference is that the Native Americans didn't support geography. Number one, nobody really supported the Native Americans. This is not only is it there's a partly race, it's also Arabic. So you got countries now like Saudi Arabia, who's low key super rich, United Emirates, Dubai, all these other countries that are that can defend, that can send money. So it's not like so they're a little bit richer than the Native Americans when it comes to that.
Of course,
they have more support. And I'm telling you, bro, that religion is very different than Native. These guys, bro, they will kill you. They will become a martyr.
Yes.
And the problem is, the Gaza, man, I got to tell you, dude, out of all the Palestinians I ever met, they're very different people. If you want to talk about gangsters, and and that's the scary thing about it, because they've been beat, dude. It's horrible. Look at all the kids. And the thing is, like, it's the morality battle right now. Yeah, I understand all the the atrocities that I've been looking on X or Twitter.
Right.
It's pretty bad, but dude, look at what these guys are doing, bro. They're dude. They're bombing entire complexes.
Yes, there's people there. There's people
Kids
there, bro.
Are dying, bro.
There's people there.
It's
crazy because they talk about Russia, how they're bombing complexes and saying this is a crime against humanity. Israel's doing the exact you don't hear that. Israel's doing the exact same thing, brother. They are literally bombing cities that look like downtown LA, and there's innocent people in there. Yeah. To me, what they should do is go in there with the tanks, go in there with the ground troops, and let's go to war. Let's go in here and let's kill these guys who are fucking sitting there and being the terrorists. But to sit there and just carpet bomb, and they said, oh, we called them and told them to get out. These are poor people. You act like they all have cars and can go to the local U-Haul and say, hey, guys, they're going to bomb us. Let's get in the U-Haul. No, where are they going to go? They're stuck in this area. There's nowhere to go. So it's atrocity on both sides.
But you know what, bro? Honestly, and this was really important why Elon Musk took over Twitter. And I think this is the reason why there's so many protests now, because people have actually become awakened. Even people that were kind of dumb about it, like I talked to like younger people, and they're starting to kind of like understand more what's going on. Like they don't listen to cable news anymore. Like the news is out there. Well, even though some of it is fake.
Right.
But people understand.
Yeah, and because most people, like even a lot of the audience here, this is good because they're finally listening to see what is the history. Because when I was a kid, I would hear all the time, Israel and Palestine, always like, oh, peace talks. And then I've never really, then as I got older, I started doing my homework. This is why they're beefing. Like there's an actual history why they're beefing. It wasn't just, oh, I hate you. No, it's, dude, you pretty much pushed me off my hood. Homie, you took over my hood, and I'm still trying to fight to get it back. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So great topic. And the thing is, bro, like what this is happening, this is not going to make anything better. This is only going to guarantee a whole new generation.
Oh, yes, of hate on both sides, yes.
And I got to tell you something. The Palestinians have one of the highest birth rates per capita. Most of those people are young. Yeah. If you see all the kids that they're having, Israel's not having any babies.
Right.
It's kind of like Mexico. Like, why do they have some? You know what I mean?
They got numbers.
What it is with these. They got numbers, bro. So, hey, anyway, great topic, brother.
All right, Raj. Great phone call. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Late.
All right.
All right. Let me see. Juan Gonzalez, you did a super chat. Let me catch you, my man. Appreciate you. If I could just. Homeboy needs to lay off the drogas because he contradicts himself way too much. Sorry, man. I can't lay off them. I love him now. We're talking about me, fool. Yeah, gun trade is big business. All right. Let's go say he could hear your angelic voice now, carnal. Let's see what you got. I know it's not about the hood. I guess it is, homie. Join the army reverse. Yeah, I don't know. They've been beefing for over 60 years, but it's actually more. Now it's like 75. Let me see. Let me get a phone call here. Caller, who's this?
Criminal.
Hello.
Yo,
Yeah, what's up? Talk to me.
hey, what's up with Mr. Criminal guy?
Nah, I'm not here to diss no guy, homie. That guy's just, he's
I fool's a crybaby, dog.
he's just got to humble himself somewhat, homie.
He's a grown.
He's new to the new YouTube yarda, whether he thinks he's not. He's new to the YouTube yarda, and people can speak on whatever they want. I never disrespected the man, and I will never disrespect anybody online like that, saying all that. But homo my personal opinion, homo needs to humble himself, and he'll get better off, because you know what. Maybe to you in your world, you're the greatest guy in the world, but to everybody else out here,
all
right,
Let's
brother.
be real. His music is trash.
Hey, he's gonna get a heart attack, homie. Don't tell him that. All right, fool. Late.
All right.
All right, so we got. All right, people. Let's see. We got another super chat in the building. What we got? OG Steve, $10 super chat. I'll give you a West Coast whistle, homeboy. I mean, you can tell who the bad element is when you see who pushes confusion instead of truth. Shit, man, America's been pushing confusion for I don't know how many years now, carnal. So don't be scaring me with that. Let's see. Humble pie, yeah, a little humble pie. Never hurt nobody. Humble. I've had my taste of humble pie, homie. It's good, but this is the YouTube yada, homie. If you do not have tough skin, then you shouldn't be on the internet like this, because what it's gonna do, it's gonna expose that, and then you're just gonna look out of pocket, and people and even myself, you know what they say, like never meet the person you kind of like, and I was like, damn, homie, really? Like, all right, well, I'm good, homie. I'm doing my thing. I ain't worried about it. That's the reason I started this podcast, so we can have a platform where we can speak about all different topics, homie, because we really don't have that. Caller, who's this?
Hi, what's up, Gil?
Another beautiful day in the hood, homie. Talk to me.
Oh, man. Oh, that's right, brother. I was commenting, and, I got on another last one before. That was hella cool.
That's right.
Like I told you, I'm the only one from the sidelines that always have much love for you, bro.
That's right, homie. Shout out the sidelines, carnal. You know what it is, homie.
Hey, anyways, like I can't get into too deep because you got everybody else or whatever, and not only that, but I can't like specifically call the scripture all this, but I just gonna throw one little thing out there, because I would have to actually have my dad talk about it, to really get down to that, you know what I mean?
Right.
But because he's the one that taught us about all the Bible stuff and all that stuff. Anyhow. It says it did say that all the Gentiles, you know what I mean, and you probably know, I don't know, but all the Gentiles, and back then, what they were supposed to do, they were supposed to kill every one of them, and because God made him supposed to kill every one of them, and they left one alive. They said, because you left that one, you're gonna have problems for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the Gentiles were supposed to be the Palestinians, and that I'm just saying some that Bible
from some of the script. Yeah. But a lot of times the Bible can be the Bible has been manipulated since the beginning of time. To fit men's causes and fights and wars, and they use it for slavery out here. They used it to beat the Native Americans and beat them into submission.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not saying I'm the perfect person in the world to say this or that, whatever.
No, I get it, but hey, you made your point for sure, man.
I think the only thing is what we need to do is just fucking I probably shouldn't say this because then the president will get on you, but.
I'll say
you need to whack that Joe Biden or something. Hey, putting money in the wrong hood, obviously got us in the mix. Too much time, bro.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Hey, brother, thanks for the phone call.
Hey, you have a good one.
All right, later. Don't buy the bull. Lay off the pipa and read the Bible, man. Gil is white American. Yo soy de Honduras, pinche tonto. Yo soy de Honduras, pinche tonto. HK tipo Shakali. That fool probably lives in fucking Colorado in a nice white American home, and he says Gil is a white American. I am American, the homeboy, even though see that's the problem. So people say you're not American, Gil. I'm American. I'm raza, homie. I'm a brown man. Y también hablo español, carnal. What you got, homie? What you got? That's why the book of Revelation is all code. Well, yeah, but it seems like it's coming. I mean, it's coming to a head. It seems like the world is definitely right now in a spot where everybody's on high alert. Everybody's looking to see what other people are doing right now. All the services are looking at satellites, seeing what tanks are moving, what armies are moving, where all this. It's like one of those games that you see all the pieces starting to move, and that's exactly what's going on right now. And everybody's waiting to see who's gonna flinch or who's gonna let's get down, homie. This is my country, not yours. It's mine too, homeboy. It's mine, homie. I wish in Colorado sounds nice. There you go. All right, West Coast, let's see what you got. Thank you for that $5 super chat. So are they fighting for the Holy Land or something else? What's the real issue? The real issue is the Holy Land. They can spin it any way they want, West Coast. They can sit there and say it's because this, because that. Look at all the allies. Look at all the enemies. That's a simple way to put it. Israel allies are who? America. Great Britain. Any Christian Catholic country will be Israel's allies. Who are the allies of the Palestinians who are Muslims? Jordan, who are Muslims. Turkish, who are Muslims. Iran, who are Muslims. Even the Saudis, not so much, but Egypt, Libya, all those countries are Muslims. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that this is a holy war. This has been a holy war since the beginning of time, since the beginning of Nazareth and Jesus and all that stuff. And it just does not stop, homie. That's exactly what it is. And they will say it's not that, it's this, that. No, it's a holy war, homie. That's why they do the what do they call? I think, trip out on this. I think it was the 1967 war. Oh, let me get a phone call real quick. Caller, who's this?
What's up, Cholo?
What's happening, homeboy?
Chilling, dog. I'm just tapping in, bro, from up here in the north side, up here in Sacramento.
Shout out to Sacramento, homeboy. Talk to me, man. What's your opinion?
Yeah, Al cien, man. I think that it's a sign of the times, man, with the war that kind of is raging in different parts. I think humans are slow to evolve, man. And it's like, little by little we're evolving, like individually and slowly as, a whole, whether it be Latino community or whether it be as an American, there's slow evolution, but it just shows how slow the evolution is when you have, gunpowder, which is basically missiles, rockets, and arguments that lead to everybody using those types of weapons, whether it be in Mexico with the need for chasing the dollar, and the guerra in Mexico or other parts in Latin America, or whether it be in Palestine, Israel. And it's just, man, it really breaks my heart. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm a father, and I can only imagine what people are going through, uprooting their kindergartners, their young teenagers, taking a bag and moving on the run because it's either that or death, And so I pray hard. I pray hard on it, and it's just sad to see the evolution being so slow, with all the resources. I don't
know if it's the evolution. I think it's just it's mankind, homie. It's the jungle. That's why when I talk and people get upset with the woke world, and I'm like, wait till there's a war, because war is inevitable. We're going to eventually, the American dream as we're living it, there will be war on our land, whether we want to admit it or not. There has never been an empire, and America is an empire, homie. There has never been an empire that didn't collapse eventually. And what America has been doing, I believe, is what the Roman Empire did. They're overextending themselves. They're way everywhere in the world. And now, listen, whether we know it or not, we're at war in Ukraine. That is us, because we're funding it. That is our money.
Absolutely.
Who's funding Israel? The same thing. We're funding this. So people are looking at this. China's sitting back, and China's the biggest problem we have, and China hasn't even fought one fight. China's just sitting there like, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on. You're bleeding out your money, and the money that they want borrowed, we're borrowing it from China. So eventually it'll get to a point where China will be like, all right, when you see China going to Taiwan, you know what's on. That's when China says, all right, we're making our move.
Right. Exactly. When the Taiwanese,
when the Taiwan goes in there, that's
end up standing up, and
Yep.
man. And you know what's crazy is that it's almost like the U.S. We've been in a silent war for years.
Yes.
And it's almost just like that covert war that the U.S. is involved in secretly in different facets around the world, right? Whether it be the Contra Costa in the 80s and the funneling of weapons to El Salvador, or, these different, like, programs that the U.S. will implement, or these different operations. And it's like silent wars that we're funding. And it's almost like we can divert it over there so that we can look like here back at home, everything's picked up and not, peaceful, but it's a lie because we're so involved in it.
Yeah.
And we have so much money going to these different operations. It's like insane because we're basically right there fighting and wasting our money in a war like that. And, I think that the card that people are pushing now when it comes to these political leaders like France, U.S., and all these other people that are backing the Israelites is definitely a power move by the elite that, basically that are in control of politics, world politics. And they know that right now is an opportunity because of the leadership that we got, right? If you have a weak leader, you have somebody that doesn't run a strict program or have a strong moral code, then they can go ahead and run these types of attacks and nobody's going to care. Same thing with Syria, bro. Like 15 years ago and then 8 years ago when Syria was literally being demolished, Obama didn't blink an eye, right? And Russia was there with the Syrians doing the same thing to their own people. And Obama didn't blink an eye. He just turned the other cheek. So it's like when you have this type of program, they know they can get away with it. And but like I said, man, it's the evolution of man because my mom's a spiritual person and she believes in different things that will lead to world peace. And I tend to believe that.
No, that'll never happen.
And it's like, it's like
that'll never happen. It doesn't even. It doesn't even happen on YouTube. You think it's gonna happen in the world?
YouTube.
On the YouTube yarda, everybody's fighting, homie. On the YouTube yarda, you think they're gonna?
Which will forever live on forever on the internet, just like the Romans lived on forever in the books, bro. It's gonna be the YouTube yarda encyclopedia.
But see, what people don't see, like Russia is the mirror image of America, right? Russia's the mirror image of America. Russia is doing to Ukraine what we did to Iraq. Same exact thing, homie. Same exact thing. But America will paint itself as the heroes of the world. Nah, America is entangled way too much in other people's politics. And that's why I believe our country is decaying right in front of our eyes, homie. It really is.
For sure.
Because we're so worried about everybody else and being everybody else's business. Although it's like me going around my city and looking everywhere. My house is full of termites. My old lady's going out on me. My kids are on drugs, but I'm out on the street worrying about everybody else while my house is going to shit. And that's what's going on in America right now.
Exactly, because we're in Kuwait, Iraq, Pakistan, and then it's like, and basically we lost that. We lost all the faith that the Middle East had in us. We lost all of our connections going that way. I mean, they've given us, it's like, so it's just, like you said, it's almost a matter of time, even though I don't want to believe it. I heard this Ukrainian general just over the past couple of weeks say something about he wishes that the people helping them never experience this war at their house. He said, let those people live in peace.
Right.
And I kind of thought of it and I was like, damn, that's deep. Like, this dude knows how bad war is.
For
and
sure.
He would never wish that upon nobody. And I think he had hope that people would come to the Western country to live freely. And that's kind of how I interpreted it, But how long does that last, right? Like you said, it will come to our land eventually.
Yeah, it will.
So what the timeline is, who knows? I don't know. What is your guess, bro? What do you think, Gil?
Well, I think with this one, this could definitely be one of those. Yeah, I mean, it has all the makings. It has the perfect recipe for us to go into a world war. And if we go into a world war this time around with Russia, especially, in China, I think that if it does happen, it'll be done, because it's not going to be something where, hey, we're just going to do ground war, this and that. Eventually, somebody's going to pull that trigger. Somebody's going to pull that trigger.
Yeah,
and once one country, it's just like it's just like the gangs back in the days. As soon as one hood pulled out their gun instead of a knife and shot somebody, that's when everybody else stopped and said, "Hey man, you see that guy use his gun? You see how much power he's got?
Let's go get some guns.
Let's go get some guns and shoot." And that's what would happen. But this has all the making of it. I hope to God cooler heads prevail.
Yeah.
But over there, it's no cooler heads. Over there, it's fatwa, homeboy. Let's get this on.
Isn't the video just reminiscent of what Iraq was going down when we were over there in 2003, 2004, you know?
Oh, they're destroying that place. Shock and awe, baby.
Man,
they're destroying that place. All right, brother.
Like the video feed in the horizon is just like,
sure.
You're just like, what? Like, what?
Appreciate the phone call,
what's
player.
The point? At the end of the day, yeah, likewise, bro.
Hey, thank you, man. Take care of the kids. Late.
Yep, thank you.
All right, let's see. I'll put the number back up there. What's up? Oh, that's where's the phone number? Right there. What's up, Somas? Why don't you go ahead and call in 747-279-8109. 747-279-8109. I just need some diapers, homie. Come on, homie. You know who runs the YouTube Yarda, homie, right here, carnal. You gotta ask that question, homeboy. Yeah, but you can't run the YouTube Yarda when you're that sensitive, homie. Just good luck. Let's see what we got. All right. So after this broadcast, the boys are going to come in. We got Notorious. We got Doughboy Tony. We got a guest coming in. I don't really know right now because they just told me last minute. But they will be going live around 7 o'clock and some change, which is 6:55. As soon as I see somebody walking through that door, we're going to go ahead and run it. I will drop the Sleepy Malo interview. Motorcycle. Sleepy Malo interview. Maybe Friday, Saturday, homie. Sleepy Malo interview. Master Hunger Podcast. That was good interview. Good times, homie. Good times. Let's see. And then we got some. What we got? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, man. Tomorrow, we'll be at Gardena Cinema, man. Gardena Cinema. You want to pull up? That's where I'll be, homie. Gardena. I'll be there tomorrow. We're going to be doing the final showcasing the American Homeboy. I've been asked to be part of the panel to speak on it. That way, if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and ask there and then. So tomorrow, Gardena will be at the cinema over there. I think it holds about 700 people, homie. They're going to have a car show. They're going to have a little thing. So try to get there early, maybe like around 5:30, 6 o'clock if you're in the area. If you're in the Gardena, Harbor area, pull up, homie. You want to see me? I'll be there. So what else we got, man? Fainter looks. All right. So I'm gonna leave my last call for Mr. Somas. If he wants it, he's gonna get it. If not, then I'm gonna step out of here and That's who said Donald Trump is America for standing with us, homie. All right, let's see what we got, homie. I think that's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Somas. Hello.
What's up, brother?
All right, let me put this number down. You got the last call of the night, homie. So I don't know if you saw the beginning of the broadcast. I was breaking down, somewhat of the history of Israel and Palestine and what's going on over there. I'm in the side that this could definitely lead to some type of World War III. It has all the makings for it. So now let's see what you have to say, player.
You know what? I agree with that, bro. And I don't know if you remember, bro, a while back when I told you that these people, bro, that are running this whole thing on humanity, right? Because it's not just America. These same people, bro, like I said before, these people are willing to start conflict, even a world war, to keep the truth of what they've really been up to out of the public's eye, bro. Because the reality is, bro, like I heard somebody else say, people are waking up, bro, to the truth, to what is really, really going on behind the scenes. And this is much bigger than them losing a political seat or, losing their wealth. This is losing their freedom and potentially even worse.
Now, what do you say is going on behind the scenes in a short version?
Well, look, bro, to make it very plain and simple, I know that there's still people out there that refuse to accept the fact that not just America, but the world was basically experimented on. A lot of people still refuse to accept the fact that now even countries and even people that work in certain pharmaceuticals are coming out saying this is a bioweapon. This was used as a bioweapon on a huge majority of the world. These same people simply think about this, bro. They hid therapeutics that they knew worked, like hydrochloroquine, ivermectin. Other countries are openly handing this stuff out to their own people. And here in America, especially, they're hiding it. And they're still trying to tell people that it's not working. And yet you have other people that at the beginning were denying it, saying, hey, the public was lied to. So think about this. If you have this same set of people that are willing to go to those lengths to get people to take something that they knew wasn't safe, do we really put it past them doing anything else? Now they're saying, hey, you know what? Bring your kids next. Now it's the kids. I don't know if you remember, bro, a while back when I told you to watch that movie, Children of Men.
I do remember,
that movie?
but I think I saw it a while back though.
Okay. Well, look, bro, simply look at this. You have these same people, bro, that are talking about reducing population, right? And now you're having side effects from, and I don't want to talk about get you banned, bro, but I think it's very evident for a lot of people, and a lot of people for some reason are in denial that our own government or these elites, because that's really what they are. A lot of these people, when they say elites, we're not talking about like elite, someone that's sitting up there with a little cape. You're talking about offshore entities, people that do not even live within the United States, creating policy for the United States and other countries simply on the fact that they have billions of dollars.
Trillions at this
That's
point.
it.
Trillions, bro.
Billions. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They believe that entitles them to tell you what to put in your body, but they don't take it.
Right.
Then they come out and say, you're going to take it. But by the way, if you take it and something happens to you, you can't sue us.
So what do you think about let's not get off course with the vax. What do you think about what could be the outcome of what's going on in Israel and Palestine?
You know, bro, I think that this has the potential to really turn into a very big conflict because there's a lot of countries out there that are just waiting for the opportunity to attack, and it doesn't help that we have a very weak president, bro. He's a meat suit, bro. He's a meat suit. He's nothing. And when other countries like China and other countries around the world see that kind of weakness, they see opportunity. And for those people over there, it is a religious thing. And I don't know if a lot of people know what it starts off by basically, it's the firstborn is really what they're fighting about. It goes back to Ishmael and then the firstborn of, I believe it's Jacob. So they always believe that the firstborn has the birthright. So this is what the conflict is about. This is why they fight over that land. It's over a birthright of the eldest. But yeah, bro, I've been saying this for a while. I think this has the potential to really turn into something that would drag everybody in. But I'm not one of those people that believes that we should walk around in fear. And let me tell you why. Because right now you already hear there's people in the news saying it, and other people are starting to say, hey, well, maybe you shouldn't go here or you shouldn't go there. If you guys remember, bro, after 9/11, they pulled the very same thing. I don't know if you remember this, bro, but even that show, American Dad, used to make fun of it. If you remember on the refrigerator of that show, they used to have a meter. They went from orange to, I think,
yes.
Remember that?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Well, you remember after September 11th, what were they doing? They would say, oh my God, the meter's orange. Oh, I'm not going to the mall today.
Right. The terror threat was down to orange, green, red, or some weird stuff.
Yes. So what are they doing now? They're basically running that same play. And now there's people saying, I'm not going to do that. Right? And really, when they did that, who really were the ones that ended up on the short stick of that Patriot Act? It was us. It was us. Right? People, for some reason, thought that there were jihadis behind every bush.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Sure.
And I think, look what they did, simply. And hopefully I can cut it short. What do they always do, bro? They always pull at the tug strings and they use what? The most vulnerable. Children, the elderly, right?
Right.
So what are they saying now? Oh, some children got beheaded, right?
Yeah.
What do they do here every time there's a mass shooting? Children, oh, we got to take right? We got to take your guns. And now what they're doing is they're pinning everybody against each other again.
Yeah. sure.
The other bullshit isn't working. So, look, bro, I'm gonna say something that I've been saying to people for a very long time, and some people understand it, some don't. This is what I believe that they are doing.
Man, Somes. Yeah, and there you go, people. And that is the end of the show. Soma's call was completely cut off. It's gone. It is what it is, man. So, hey, I appreciate you guys tapping in here. Please leave a comment below. You know, this is just our opinion, but it's also at the same time giving you some of the facts so you guys can speak about it, discuss it with your family members. That way you know a little history of what's going on without just watching the news and not having a political view on it. That's what the whole point of me coming on here doing. You know, I appreciate you guys tapping in. I hope you guys like, share, and subscribe.